Giving Tony a scholarship only a matter of time.
Yeah, it actually is just fortunate in the sense that unfortunate what happened with Dion and NCAA's able to keep Dion on scholarship and Tony as well. So, uh, he's been really good worker and obviously very productive in games and really happy for him. He earned it.
Do you think he'll be able to slide into the starting lineup this week or
You know what?
maybe
He hurt
next
his
week?
ankle at the end of that UCLA game.
Okay.
And so he didn't practice yesterday, so we got to kind of have to see where. I think he'll be fine. It's just one of those things where he was really I think in overtime at the end of the game, and so I think he'll be fine. But I don't know if I doubt we won't. We'll stay the same way.
What was your biggest takeaway from that first Pac-12 homestand? Good or bad?
A lot of good things. I thought we really competed both games as far as what we've been emphasizing all year. Maybe our two best efforts as far as defending two good teams, rebounding the ball, and taking care of the ball. Did a great job, and we didn't shoot it well, but we were able to pull, get a win. And the first three halves, we were really struggled offensively that way, and but we couldn't really calm ourselves down. But we were competing so hard on the other end, kept us in the game both times. And as a coach, you've seen it where you're competing, you can't make a shot, you'll break. And our guys didn't. So really proud, and hopefully we can sustain that going forward.
Was there an emphasis to get to the free throw line more in that USC game in the UCLA game after not many attempts in the USC game?
I mean, I think, yeah, it always is. I mean, it's a big part of our deal, and I felt like it happens. I think the USC game was just more physical, and if it's more physical, I thought it was probably their advantage. And I think the game was physical, but I think it was officiated a little differently. Like I say, and that happens sometimes with different crews, and I obviously like the Saturday crew.
You guys consider defensive kills 3 straight stops. Do you know how many of those you guys had late in that UCLA game overtime?
I think we got 7 or 8, and our goal is try to get 6 every game. That's one of our really rudimentary analytics. It's good, so I really don't want to share that, but that's fine. It's out there, but and that's one of the things our guys can kind of get behind, and we I know we're good when I hear the bench start yelling, we get a kill, and start throwing up the X, and that kind of where we stay focused.
So that was 7 or 8 late in the game or in the game total?
Total.
Okay.
I mean, 6 is a really good mark for a game. You give yourself a good chance to win if you do. It's hard to do. And to be able to go over 6, obviously there's 5 more minutes, but to be able to do that because it's hard to get a clean stop. I mean, 3 in a row without free throws or made basket. And, that was great.
Have you been using that all the way back to Columbia and USF too?
I believe somewhere in Columbia, I don't know what year it was. I think we certainly stole it from someone. I think it might have been West Virginia. I'm not sure, but yeah, we had skull and crossbones up there, kind of like a strikeout in the baseball game. Throw the K up.
Is it just a way to kind of get little games and
Absolutely.
to not focusing on the bigger picture necessarily? And
team stuff, team goals. 5 guys out there, so it takes the focus out. So lose yourself in the team. Like let's not, bad things. You're gonna miss shots. You might turn it over, but stay locked into what we're trying to do on that other end.
And is Marvin going to be out for another few weeks still? Do you think, or what's his status?
Yeah, I think it was the meniscus, and I think the best is like 4 week. Don't quote me on that, I'm not sure, but whatever, make sure Marvin's 100% and feels comfortable in that. But he's walking around, and actually it's better. He's going to come on the trip with us just because it's easier to rehab him with our trainer and that stuff. But I don't think it's close yet.
Dylan, go ahead.
Hey, Coach Smith, quick question for you. Going back to Thursday, Noah Williams got in a tie-up with USC big man Nick Rakocevic. It just kind of felt like that kind of sequence kind of fired up the entire team. Does a play like that with like a true freshman, can that change the complexion of the season for that player or just kind of grow the bond a little closer with such a young team?
You know what? I just think that's kind of who Noah is a little bit. He's not going to back down. I love him. I love his fearlessness. He's not afraid. He's got to learn to control his emotions a little bit. But I thought it was kind of a punk move by Rakocevic. He just kind of kept driving him into the thing. I thought it was terribly officiated. I don't know. Do I get fined for that? Probably. I don't know. It was. That's reality. I don't know. You're not allowed to push a guy into the stand, and no one going to give the ball up. And So I call him, this would be a throwback, but he's like Danny Ainge. You want him on your team, and he gets under people's skin out there and playing, and he's a good leader that way. He's willing to compete.
And, CJ's has a bit of that in him too. I mean, how important is it for you as a first-year head coach, just showing up to WSU, to have two guys who are from Seattle? They're kind of taking the persona of your program.
Tony's from Seattle too. I love those Seattle guys. I think there's a lot of, and we had a couple at San Francisco, and they all kind of share a common bond. They're really proud. There's a really good recent history of NBA players, and basketball culture is really, really strong there. I mean, there's others, but there's like really 4 high school programs that usually have all the players, and it's a big deal. And Garfield and Rainier Beach play, or O'Day plays, and so it's neat, and their AAU programs, everything. So I like the in-state guys, and they got a little chip. When they go out, you see them play AAU games, they're in the summer, and they walk around with a little pride, and I'm glad they brought it here. That's we need it. I don't know how many does UW? They have a lot of Seattle guys.
Yeah.
They do?
Probably about half the roster, I think.
Is it?
Close to.
I thought they had a lot of New Yorkers. Anyway. Another question?
Obviously, you've had some injuries, but are you surprised that you've been able to go to the well in terms of getting down at the end of your bench at times this year? For example, Ryan Rapp at the end of that UCLA game. I mean, what's that do for, guys, the freshmen and the sophomores that, have had basically just a cup of tea, a cup of coffee in college basketball? I
think it's great. It's just, we talk about being a team, and everyone talks about being next man up and those situations, and we haven't made it an excuse for it. The guy's been getting better, and Ryan's one of those injuries too. He didn't even start practicing until almost we started playing games, and literally I didn't know what was going to happen to Ryan in that situation. We were just trying to change up. We had trouble scoring, and he gave us a big lift, and it was neat to see. He's been practicing really well. Still a lot of areas he needs to get better at, but that was really helpful, and everyone's kind of had their moments to contribute, whether it was Bova down the Caymans, where I think he came and get 6 offensive boards against Nebraska, and Ryan obviously against UCLA, and DJ's had moments, and Noah's been pretty consistent. So Tony, coming on like that and creating opportunities, and the guys that have been steady, it's fun. And when everyone's contributing.
I'll leave you with this. Obviously, we're still a week and some change from Klay Thompson's jersey retirement ceremony. You guys are headed to his neck of the woods this weekend. You've worked with some NBA people like Kobe Altman at Columbia. Quick question: Klay lives under Steph and Durant's shadow. Being a mile matter guy, how underappreciated do you think Klay Thompson is? In the NBA or just kind of across the nation, a typical basketball fan?
I don't think he is. I think he's a great two-way. I think he's one of the best two-way players in the league. He's one of the best shooters in the league. They call Splash Brothers. They don't say Curry and his sidekick. And they get along well. He's a great team player, and he's all about winning, staying in. He's got a lot of Coug in him. I mean, he's proud to be a Coug, and he wants to stay with one organization. He's not obligated to do that, but he likes winning, and what a great role model for our guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Brian, go ahead.
Thank you so much. Hi, Coach. Brenna Green from Krebs.
Hey.
Earlier on in August, I kind of asked this question a little bit, but you were kind of trying to figure out John's role on your staff. Then, what would you say his role is now as an assistant coach?
He's a coach. All of our guys have different hands and stuff. We're all kind of the same way, and he helps us a lot in Europe recruiting and internationally. Actually, and has got a lot of nationally recruiting. He's been in Ivy League, so he can get. I think in Pullman you got to have your fingers in a lot of pots, and he does that. And then on the floor, he's been very helpful, and obviously knows analytic stuff. And he really tried to educate our whole staff on what we're trying to do. And on the floor, he's a really good coach too. So he's been putting in his 10,000 hours, and he's doing a really good job. Prior to this 10,000.
What has been his impact with stats on that team, since I know the first line in his bio says that he's an ace analytics guy.
I think we're all into it. To be honest, I don't want to give him to it, but he's probably the highest SAT score by a wide margin, and he can crunch some numbers. I got a 3 a.m. text about some certain combinations that are better than others, but all of our guys are into it. So I don't want to. He's an easy one to market. We go with the Columbia brainchild.
What do you think he's taught this team in particular? What do you think his biggest impact has been?
You know what? He's bilingual, so I think he's been able to work with some of those guys, and he can communicate with Vova. He's really bright, and he speaks a little bit of French, and somehow he's communicating with Vova with the Ukrainian and Lithuanian, and Vova has like 5 languages, so that's unique talent, and he has a really good aptitude for picking up languages. So I don't know if that's so I think some people are better than that. I'm not really good. I should have got him Rosetta Stone for Christmas and added a few more to his repertoire.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Coach.
No problem.
Very good.
Are you more familiar with Stanford and Cal because of your time down there in the Bay Area? Did you ever maybe recruit a little bit against them at certain times?
Oh, absolutely. We played both of them. Did we play them last year? Yeah, we played both of them last year. And obviously Cal is a new coach, and Martin Fox, and known him since, my goodness, I think he was a GA at UW way back or something. And he's a really good coach, and competed against him when he's at Nevada when I was at St. Mary's, and I think he's doing a good job. They're, obviously both of their first years, so some of the personnel, like Andre Kelly, is a guy that we really wanted at San Francisco, and Matt Bradley saw him come through the AAU program. Not surprised that they're both really good players, and and then Stanford played them last year, and I always thought they had good young players, and people were a little surprised how well they've done this year. I think they have a good group, and 2 of their freshmen, which we didn't play against last year, really elevated them and made them a really good, tough out for sure.
Do you need to caution the guys not to kind of overlook Cal because they have struggled a little bit early on, or
No. No, I reminded our guys that last year's road trip, it was a net minus 55. So whatever, don't worry. Our guys, and we haven't played on the road enough or much, and so I was like trying, and in a while either. So we want to just keep our focus. Like, hey, every possession, it's the same story. Immediate guys try to get us on that or looking past one trap game. No coach believes in the trap game. It's the biggest game's the next game.
Will you be able to reconnect with anyone down there, any USF friends or anything like that, or is it just business?
They play Thursday. I think they got Santa Clara, so no, that's a big game for them. And but there'll be some people in the Bay Area. I lived over. I imagine. I know some good friends will be there and trying the same thing. I have the same. Trying to stay focused and really haven't given much thought, and they know me well enough to know that I think I got a late Thursday or Wednesday night rendezvous with a good friend I've known for 30 years, and I want to keep that to a half hour if I can.
Okay, thank you.